Thank you. I wanted to start this morning by thanking Dr. Munoz for inviting me to be part of this event, and to thank Dr. Merrill for being my partner in this presentation this morning. My comments reflect only my own thoughts and opinions. Dr. Merrill and I haven't coordinated much on this, so we're not following a single trajectory. The coordination was, okay, you go first and I'll go second. So we may be talking about different things, but that's nice because this is such a broad topic that we can take a lot of different trajectories. I wanted to say something eloquent and profound on the subject of free speech. Thought that would be great. But there's so many people out there who've expressed it so much better than I ever could. So I'm not going to give a speech on how wonderful free speech is. But two of my favorites are John Stuart Mill, his book on liberty, and a speech given by Rowan Atkinson, better known as Mr. Bean. You really should go check both of them out. Free speech is essential for two fundamental reasons. First, I believe it is a basic human right that we have. The second is that it is absolutely essential for a society to prosper and progress. No one can call themselves a progressive if they endorse the silencing of ideas outside of an established orthodoxy. If we are to talk about the importance of free speech, or its subset, academic freedom, I want to make a point that I think has often been neglected in these discussions. Free speech is not enough. Free speech and academic freedom are not ends in themselves. When they exist, greater advances in human knowledge and flourishing may take place. However, in and of itself, the right of free speech will not make the world a better place. Rather, it is the foundation for work to happen that will make the world a better place. The right of free speech is a precondition for mechanisms of rationality to improve our societies. Think of it this way. Freedom of speech is like good soil. You need it. But without a plurality of ideas growing within it, all that you have is a pile of dirt. We need free speech and a plurality of views. Otherwise, you have people talking freely, slapping each other on the back, and no advancement in knowledge. If a society is run by a like-minded group of conservatives who have free speech, you're probably going to have a stagnant and oppressive society. If a society is run by a group of like-minded liberals who have free speech, you're probably going to have chaos, people chasing after the latest best practice and screwing a lot of things up. Progress happens when different perspectives are brought to the table and then critically examined. New ideas can be brought forward and all ideas can be critiqued. Without a plurality of ideas and perspectives, free speech and academic freedom mean nothing. We simply end up with echo chambers, an arrogant monoculture, a lack of critical thinking, and people becoming stupider. So how is Susquehanna University doing on this front? Wondering if people are getting nervous now. We have two questions here, right? How are we doing with regard to free speech and academic freedom? And how are we doing when it comes to providing a platform for a plurality of views? With regard to free speech, in terms of policy and administrative oversight, pretty good. In my opinion, Susquehanna University is doing pretty well at this. Consider that several years ago, student groups, the SU Republicans and the SU Democrats, hosted an event where each would invite a speaker to represent their political ideology. They would support one another's speakers and events. The SU Republicans brought Ben Shapiro, the SU Democrats brought former Governor Ed Rendell, and the administration was delighted. And was genuinely delighted. And they made sure that both groups were treated equally, and they were in full attendance at both events. That's good. Also, several years ago, I think it was around the same time, I posted something on Facebook, something that was misunderstood by a lot of people, a little bit provocative. And some people misunderstood my point. And, well, you know how students and social media work. But there were a group of students who went to the provost and they said, we would like to have him disciplined. We think he should lose his job. And the provost said, no, Dr. Mann has the right to express his opinions. And really, you should go talk to him about it because he's actually a reasonable guy. There were also some mid-level administrators who put out a veiled tweet suggesting that I was a racist. Again, misunderstanding my point completely. And the response of the administration was, no, you cannot do that. And so how well do we handle free speech at Susquehanna in regard to policy and administrative oversight? I think we do pretty well. What about academic freedom for professors? From everything I've seen in the 20+ years I've been here, also pretty good. No one has ever told me what I should or should not publish or present at a conference. Now, what about our classes? Are students free to express their thoughts and opinions? You tell me. We've got a lot of students here. Interestingly enough, studies show that it's other students, not faculty, who stifle speech the most. And this is what I've consistently heard from my students. So here's a challenge for SU. What are we doing to ensure that students are not intimidating or silencing their classmates? In your various classes, are students exposed to different viewpoints? Again, you tell me. If so, are these opinions coming from their adherents or someone telling you what adherents of certain positions believe? And if it is the latter, how compelling of a case is made for their position? You tell me. What about the speakers we bring to campus? Do we have a plurality of views there? When it comes to politics, religion, and social issues, do we bring in folks from both left of center and right of center? The Shapiro-Rendell event doesn't count. That was run by students. However, the business school debates of the last couple of years have been a good model of that sort of discussion. There used to be the Adams Center dialogues, which were excellent in this regard. And in the past, we've had Justice Alito, Richard Rodriguez, and J.C. Watts on campus. And I think this is a good start, but we could definitely be doing better. Now, finally, to really stir the pot, a word about safe spaces. This entire campus should be a safe space in the sense that people should not have to worry about their physical safety or harassment. However, if a safe space is understood to be a place where you will never be challenged and no one is allowed to disagree with you, where you will be protected from negative emotions, then I'm not a fan. And my classroom will never be that kind of safe space. Declaring an area a safe space is often a way to say that only certain viewpoints may be expressed there. We should be modeling and encouraging civil dialogue and debate. Treating people like they're fragile is not the best way to prepare them for lives of leadership, achievement, and service. Free speech, academic freedom, and the exposure to different viewpoints. This is what makes us smarter, more resilient, and far more able to make the world a better place. Thank you.